When you don't have a PR, a work permit can be a great way to get to Canada instead. Today we'll talk about various ways to apply for a work permit. I will also talk about LMIA in some detail. So, let's get started. A work permit allows you to legally hold a job in Canada for certain time. It can be either an open work permit or an employer-specific work permit. Within these categories, you may or may not require LMIA. But let's deal with LMIA later. First, you should check which work permit applies to you. Choose the type of work that you will do in Canada. As an example, let's select academic work. Now you're eligible for an employer-specific work permit and not an open permit. Check the category for your own work and don't forget to check the eligibility requirements as well. An open permit is not job-specific. You're free to apply for any job at any time without losing your permit. To get this permit, you will neither require LMIA nor an offer of employment. You just have to pay an open work permit fee and you're set. I know this sounds great, but there's a catch. Only certain people are eligible for this category, so definitely check if you qualify. International students who have graduated from a designated learning institution can apply for this. But remember, the institute must be eligible for postgraduate work permit. This permit is relevant for people who have applied for PR, refugees, dependent family members of international students and permanent residents, and people who are on temporary resident visa. Some of these may have additional criteria, so make sure to check. An employer-specific work permit is tied to just one employer. It indicates the name of the employer, location, and duration that you work for. Before you apply for this permit, you have to make sure that your employer submits an offer of employment to IRCC. They must also pay $230 as compliance fee and send you an offer of employment number. LMIA is a document submitted by your employer to IRCC showing proof that you're being hired for your niche skills. People with this skill set are not readily available in Canada. A majority of jobs require LMIA before you can apply for a work permit. This system is in place so that the first preference of employment can be given to permanent residents and citizens. This is a lengthy and expensive process for the employer. Before hiring anyone from outside Canada, the employer will have to prove that efforts have been made to hire Canadian residents first. They will need to advertise in newspapers and maintain records of interviews done to hire internally. Also, the employer needs to shell out $1,000 for this application. So you see, the employer will only put in efforts if you have seriously unique skills. Most of the people I know who got LMIA are from the IT sector. However, there are some jobs which are exempt from LMIA. Please check the link below and see if your job is in the LMIA exempt category. You will be lucky if it is. When you apply for a work permit, you have to submit an offer letter, a job contract, a copy of the LMIA document along with the LMIA number. If you are a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident, your spouse can apply for a work permit even while on temporary resident visa. It may or may not be an open work permit depending on the kind of work. You can apply for a work permit from within Canada if you are on temporary resident visa. You can do so from a Canadian visa office. For more details, check the link below. Remember to carry your port of entry letter that you receive from IRCC. This is your introductory letter for the border officials. You won't need an LMIA if you are an entrepreneur, but you will require several other documents. For details, click up here to watch my video on the Canadian Startup Visa. If you do manage to get a work permit, I would personally consider it to be an ideal situation. A job in hand will give you confidence and peace of mind while moving to a new country. So, if you are eligible, definitely try this option. Next, I'm working on a video on Alberta PNP which should be out in a few days. Till then, take care.